So 11.8 goes over factoring by grouping. The key indicator to let you know that you're factoring by grouping is when you have 4 terms in your polynomial. When that happens, you can group the first 2 terms, you can group the last 2 terms, factor out the greatest common factor from each set of parentheses, and then you'll see that where you're left at is exactly where we're going to start today. You'll see that the 2 parentheses that are left are the same. You can form 1 parentheses with those, and then form another with what you factored out. So if we look at example 1a, we have 5 times x plus y plus w times x plus y. Those 2 sets of parentheses are identical to one another. So we're going to write one of them down, and then we're going to form another with the 5 and the plus w. So we just have x plus y times 5 plus w, and that's our answer. For example B, we have m times m plus 4n minus parentheses m plus 4n. That minus that's in front of the second parentheses, it's like saying there's a negative 1 in front of there. So if you look at both of these parentheses, they are identical to one another, so we'll write them down one time, and then we'll form another set with the m and the minus 1. So we just have m plus 4n times m minus 1. For our next set of examples, the first one is somewhat factored for us. However, if we look at this, we have 5 times a minus 3 minus 2a times 3 minus a. If we rewrite this second set of parentheses, it's going to be 5 times a minus 3 minus 2a times negative a plus 3. You'll realize that that second set of parentheses is not identical to the first. They're opposites though. Instead of a, it's negative a. Instead of negative 3, it's positive a, or positive 3. So in order to make this second set of parentheses the exact same as the first, we're going to divide out a negative 1, which means the sign on the 2a that's in front of the set of parentheses is going to change as well. So this is going to be 5 times a minus 3 minus 2a, plus 2a times a minus 3. Now your 2 parentheses are the same, so we can rewrite that a minus 3 one time and form another with the 5 plus 2a. For example B, we have 2ab minus 6ac plus 3b minus 9c. Here we have 4 terms in this polynomial, no parentheses. Form your own set of parentheses. Put a set around the first 2 terms, put a set around the last 2 terms. From the first 2 terms, factor out your greatest common factor. They're both divisible by 2. They both have an a attached to them. So factor out a 2a. From the second set of parentheses, you have a 3b and a negative 9c. They're both divisible by 3, so factor out a 3. This is going to give us 2a times whatever's left over. So 2ab divided by 2a is just b. Negative 6ac divided by 2a is negative 3c. You factored out the 3 from the second set of parentheses. That 3 is positive. So it's going to be plus 3 times whatever's left over. 3b divided by 3 is just b. Negative 9c divided by 3 is negative 3c. Check your 2 parentheses. They are identical to one another. So b minus 3c is the same for both. From here, we're going to rewrite that b minus 3c one time and form another set of parentheses with what we factored out, which is the 2a and the positive 3. So we just have b minus 3c times 2a plus 3. For example 3, we have 4p squared minus 4pq plus 8p minus 8q. For this one, again, we have 4 terms, so we're going to put a set of parentheses around the first 2 terms and a set of parentheses around the last 2 terms. From the first 2 terms, you have 4p squared and negative 4pq. They both have a p attached to them, and they both have a 4. So we'll divide those by 4p. The second set of parentheses, you have 8p and 8q. They both have an 8 attached to them, so we'll divide them both by 8. This is going to give us 4p times p minus q plus 8 times p minus q. Check that your two parentheses are identical to one another. They are, so rewrite that p minus q once and form another with the 4p plus 8. So we just have p minus q times 4p plus 8. You would think this is your answer. However, that last set of parentheses, that 4p plus 8, does have a common factor in them. The 4p and the 8 are both divisible by 4, so we continue to divide out or factor out a 4 from that set of parentheses. That 4 will go in front. We then have p minus q. What's left over from the 4p plus 8, all factored by 4, is just p plus 2. So this 4 times p minus q times p plus 2 is our answer.